What is up, guys? Welcome to your 21st Java game development tutorial, and in the next probably tutorial or two we're going to be building our run, movie loop, and draw methods, and these are going to be a little different from before, so make sure you just don't skip over these. And this run method is pretty much the main method called from main. So remember, in main we had this method b.run and it's underlined because we didn't build it yet, so let's go ahead and build it. Just hit enter right there and public void run. It's not going to take any parameters. Now what do we want to do as soon as we pretty much start our game? We want to have access to that screen manager, so s equal to new screen manager. Now we can use crap from our screen manager class. So what do we want to do first? In essence, we want to try, actually let's go ahead and get rid of this finally. Once we're done doing everything, we want to take the screen and restore screen. So we're going to try to do a bunch of stuff, try to play the game, and when we're done we want to restore the screen back to normal size and get out of full screen. But just to make sure I don't forget that, I'm just going to do that first. So anyways, what do we want to do as soon as we start the game? We want to get display mode DM, and we want to set the display mode equal to screen dot find first compatible mode. And remember, our array was called modes1, so we want to pass in our mode called modes1. Simple enough. And what this is going to do is find the display mode that's compatible not only with our options of the game, but also is compatible with the graphics card. It's pretty much going to find the perfect display mode and store it in the variable DM. How awesome is that? So now we can call this screen method, or excuse me, the screen object, and set full screen. What do we want to set full screen? That display mode right there. So now whenever we set full screen or convert our game to full screen, it has the perfect display mode already passed in. How awesome is that? So now what do we want to do after this? Well, we want to call this method to load all the images, or in other words, get all the images ready. So load images, and now that we have all the images, we can begin playing our movie. And that's going to be in a method called movie loop, which we're going to be building right now. So let's go ahead and do it. So pretty much get the perfect display mode, make our game full screen depending on that perfect display mode, get all the images, and play the movie. So let's go ahead, and since I promised you guys I'll create movie loop, let's go ahead and create a movie loop. Public void, or this is a comment, and all this does is play movie now. I was too excited to get to coding. Public void movie loop, and this pretty much, if you couldn't tell by my comment, just plays your movie. It's not going to take any parameters. I like methods that don't take any parameters. But anyways, long starting time. As soon as this movie begins, it's going to be equal to system dot current time in milliseconds, which is going to be the current time right now, or right now. That's the current time. You get it? Long cumulative time equal starting. Oh man, I thought it would pop up. Starting time. Since at the beginning the cumulative time is going to be equal to 0, and at the beginning it's going to be equal to 0. Bam, I explained this all before. While the cumulative time minus starting time is less than 5,000, and remember this is 5 seconds, we're going to be keep increasing the cumulative time. This is the time that's going to be keep adding and adding to this. So eventually once this gets above 5,000, this equation is going to return false. That's when we exit. But this is pretty much what I'm going to code in here. This movie lasts for 5 seconds. If you want to make it for 6 seconds, type 6,000 since they're milliseconds, which is a thousandth of a second. Anytime. Anyways, long time passed. There we go. Move my cursor out of the way. Next, we need a variable to calculate the time passed. Now, system dot current time milliseconds minus the cumulative time. This will give you the time that has passed. And if you don't understand what I'm doing, then watch my last couple tutorials. I explained it a lot better in here. And now that we got the time that passed, add it to the cumulative time, because remember, if we don't keep adding to this, then our animation is just going to play forever. Time passed, and now after that we just need to update it. So a dot update according to time passed right there. And that's why we really needed to figure out not only to add a cumulative time, but also our update method in animation. If I can find it, star update, it takes a parameter of time that has passed. So, and this is just so it knows when to go from one scene to the next. So that's why we needed to pass that into there. So now, inside the movie loop method still, we need to draw and update the screen. Because, I mean, come on, we just don't want to look at the whole thing at the same time. So, first, let's go ahead and get our graphics object. So, graphics 2D, what did I just do? Did I like, whoa, freaky. Graphics 2D, and we'll just call it G, and set this equal to s dot get graphics, just like that. And remember, this is when everything starts coming together. In my screen manager, I made a method called get graphics right here, and now we don't have to type all this crap. It already knows to set it equal to this right here, get drawing graphics. So how easy is that? This is gonna uncomplicate things so much. So now that we have that equal to the get graphics, which is already a buffered strategy and everything like that, we just want to draw that on the screen, and when we're done drawing, get rid of our graphics object, just good housekeeping. And now we want to update the screen. So yes, we do have an update method in our screen and also in our animation class, I believe. Yep. Update the animation and update the screen. You might want to name those something different, but I didn't, so well, too bad. So now we updated the animation, and then once we have the animation updated, we can update the screen to actually show us the animation. And after all of that, that was a lot of work for our CPU to do, so let's just put it to bed for a little bit. Try thread.sleep, and you want to probably sleep for like 20 milliseconds. That looks like a good time. And if you can't sleep for some reason, exception ex, you always want to try and catch stuff when you're working with threads. Right there. So try to sleep. If you can't, then catch your exception. And as you can see, we have one little error right here, but it really is an error. It's just a method called draw that we didn't build yet. So in the next tutorial, I'm going to be building this method. It's literally 2 lines of code. So that's what we're going to be doing in the next tutorial, and I'm also going to be reviewing one last time how this whole entire program works. So I mean, we got one more tutorial to go, and we finally get to see our animation. And this, unlike the animation before, is going to be perfect, flawless, no flicker or anything. So thank you guys for watching my 20th tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.